Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Your Kids podcast. Today we have with us Michelle. Michelle, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Jay. My name is Michele. I'm a hypnotherapist. I have several businesses, but primarily I'm homeschooling my son. I'm a single mother. By choice, my son was adopted when he was born. And we've had a beautiful journey. And so I became a homeschool mom, and I just love it. There's nothing more powerful and more rewarding than this experience I've had with homeschooling my mother, as
Aw.
with the homeschooling my son.
I knew what you
As
meant.
a
I knew
mother,
what
as a homeschool mother.
you No worries. Yes. What led you there? What led you to make those decisions?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I run my own businesses. And even with that, I had been saying to my son, I'd like to homeschool you. I'd like to homeschool you. I'd like to homeschool you. But he's a very social boy, and his teacher would say he goes to school to socialize. He doesn't come to school to learn. He comes to school to socialize, and he needed that social interaction, so I respected that. But then one year, I think it was at the end of grade 5, he said to me, Mommy, I'm ready to be homeschooled. And I said, why, sweetie? He said, I'm that kid, Mom. I said, what's that kid, sweetie? He says, I'm that kid that just doesn't fit in. And I'm like, yes, I'm so happy to hear that. And I was like, I'm so glad, because if he didn't fit in, that means he was walking his own path, right? Because to me, that's what the educational system is about making sure that you comply, you conform, you fit in, you
Yeah.
follow, you toe the line. So I was like dancing. So that's what, finally I was able to take that on. And of course, my life always works out beautifully. So what happened is I said to him, I said, okay, so it was the middle of the school year. I said, let's mentally prepare ourselves and set ourselves up for the beginning of the next school year to homeschool. Well, of course, 1 month later, COVID happened. And
Mm.
he was in my office with me. So it's like the universe answers. And so we got to start sooner than we had anticipated.
Nice. And I
Yeah.
love that it was him that approached you about it. Like, hey, you've been
Mhm.
throwing this out there, Mom. I think it's time. That's
Right.
awesome. Yeah.
But
So, mhm.
but also know that, knowing my son, I said, we're going to write a contract, right? I said, because he's a very strong-willed personality, which is what I want him to be. I said, we're going to write a contract of why you want to be homeschooled, all the reasons you want to be homeschooled, and you're going to sign it. And then I'm going to say to you, these are the reasons, you trust that what I'm going to provide, the information I'm going to provide to you, is in your best interest. And you collaborate with me to make this successful, and you take the time and invest the time to be able to learn the things you need to learn. So we wrote a contract to make sure that when things got challenging, or he didn't want to do, or he'd rather watch movies, that he could, he would be held to task.
Nice, nice. And what does your day look like?
um it's simple. I have an office, and so he's in the other office. He has his own office with me. And my key is that the key to success, or the key to anything, is creativity, right? Focus. You have to really apply yourself. So first I have him write from a book that's an intellectual book that has some interesting information, and write for at least 20 minutes straight. Just write what's in the book. So he's getting the grammar, he has to do all the punctuation right. And then I correct it. I look at it and we see what was different from what needed. He corrects it. And then we talk about it. We talk about what he wrote. So he's not only just writing it as a rote exercise, he's actually internalizing the information, which is he's brilliant at doing. He's a brilliant writer. And so then we discuss the information that he wrote on. That's part of it. Math is not really his forte, so I didn't really spend too much time enforcing that. And then the rest of it is really, if he watched a movie, he would have to write a brief summary of the, different aspects of the movie. Hold on, I have to plug in my battery. He'd have to write different why he liked the movie, what were the strengths of the movie, what could have been done better, things like that. And then, of course, he's watching me interact with clients and everything throughout the day. We have a home building business. He would work for my business partner on the construction site. Um, we have a large social circle. I have a lot of friends who would just pick him up and go and spend time, quality time, doing things with him. So it was mostly life lessons. And then he also started working. At 13, he started working. So his education for me formulated more around real life experiences, right? And running his own business when he's ready. So
and to see mom running a business, that's already putting him into that entrepreneurship like mindset. And that's really
that,
dope.
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
How is it working in homeschooling?
So he would default to technology if he had the choice, right? And he's very strong-willed. And since I run multiple businesses, it would have been a full-time job for me to manage that. So what I ended up focusing on, actually what we got to at this point in time is, the beginning of this year, he needs to really, no more television, no more technology. He needs to really take ownership. He's 15 years old now, and that he has to step up and take responsibility for what he's doing. So it's different. It's going to be different this year. He has to establish he has to be an adult. He has to step into adulthood. He's a young man now. And so this year is new. It's going to be totally different, where he has to just focus and decide who he's going to be. And I'm going to let him manage that. And so we're in the first stages of that process.
Oh, nice. Is there any kind of curriculum that you all use?
No, none whatsoever. We tried multiple ones. We tried some of the ones, but he can't do online because for two reasons he can't do online, because he's a very active child. So he couldn't sit and just stare at a television. He needs a human interaction. But the second reason he couldn't do that is because, of course, he defaults to technology. And so he would find a way to bypass all the stops that I put on the computer and the telephone and be watching movies or videos or YouTube or something like that, which I do not allow, right? And so I discovered that. And then so he lost his computer. So I couldn't have him in front of a computer, and his phone was totally locked down. So, for a while he was, using comics to educate himself, using books to educate himself, activities in the community. But yeah, there was no formal curriculum because it would have been something in Khan Academy he tried. But again, he just cannot sit and focus without the human interaction. And even though I did hire tutors to help him, again, he's so bright that he would find a way to make sure that he was skirting the system, basically.
I love it.
Yeah, he's beautiful. I love him.
Nice. So y'all have y'all flow. Y'all have what works for you, and y'all are trying. You're putting more ownership on him as far as his educational path goes. Like, hey, what is it that you're into, and what is it that you're trying to do? What are your goals? And I want you to highlight and understand those goals, and then work adamantly towards those goals. Not
Right.
being a dependent on me to force you to work towards your goals.
Right. And that just started this year. Literally in November of last year, I said, we're going to list all the things that you're interested in. In fact, we had a list of about 20 things, becoming a pilot. And I said, you're going to apply yourself to 2 or 3 of these. There's no more technology, no more television after Christmas. Even though he would only watch television a few days a week, because that would be his default. So yeah, so that's where he is right now, where he's like, I'm taking ownership, I'm taking responsibility, and I'm stepping up. And I'm really proud of him.
Nice. I was gonna say, how has it been flowing for him? How has he been enjoying that leadership role?
He is he's stepping up. He's exhausted, but he's stepping up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So speak more on your day as a working homeschool mom. How is your day? How do you make time for everything? Because you
Well,
said several businesses, not one business. You were in several businesses. So
right.
tell the people how it's done.
I admire any parent who takes on this role. However, I also feel strongly that it's not an option to do it any other way, right? That the public school system is designed to be free babysitting for our children, right? But it's, there's a price we pay for that. And so it's not easy, but it's so rewarding, and the benefits are so amazing that you find a way, and you have to find your own way, right? Just because I do it this way, the next mothers, there's some mothers who are, they're like, they could be teachers, or they are teachers, and they have a whole curriculum and a whole structure. We're not very structured in our family, but it all gets done. It is challenging because you have to, like, for me as a parent, he's my number one priority. So even though I have things to do in business, and every once in a while I'll say, I need this block of time, Jonathan, at the end of the day, he's my priority. And so it is something that you have to figure out your flow. You do have to decide, and it's an experiment, right? And your child is changing. It's a different child you're parenting every month too. So from month to month to month, you have to sometimes shift and adjust and accommodate to the new child and to the new things that he's learning and the new things that are in your own life, and taking care of yourself at the same time. But I really truly believe that spending quality time with your child is probably 90% of the best way to teach your children, right? So we walk together, we hike together. Wherever I go on a business meeting, he's with me, except for when he's working and he's doing his own thing. He goes to the gym. But so driving, of course, is the thing when they're a little bit older, where you're driving them here, there, and everywhere. I drove him to tutoring, math tutoring. I drove him to the gym. I drove him to work. And my day was basically, half an hour blocks while he was doing those things. Drive, 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 drive. So it is something that you have to just, again, you have to find your own flow. It is, but don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it, to any parent who's considering it, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be authentic, and you have to care about the future of your child. You're setting them up for a future of success. And so you want to give them that platform. Don't be hard on yourself if you're not perfect. Just do the best you can and enjoy the journey. But don't overwhelm yourself. Do not overwhelm yourself. It's, have fun with it. And that's my biggest thing in life, is we're here to have fun. And so enjoy the journey and really that quality time with your children, because it, like somebody said to me when he was born, savor every moment because it goes by so quickly.
It definitely does. It definitely
Mhm.
does. So that's beautiful advice. That's much needed, especially coming from a mompreneur. That's a new word. Mompreneur that is multitasking with not just multiple businesses, but also taking leadership in their children's education. So that's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. So you want to tell us about some of the businesses that you have curated?
I have three businesses. One is I'm a civil engineer, so I have a degree in engineering. So I've been doing that all of my life. And so I still do that and love it. Um, I also have a business partner, and he builds homes. He's in the field, I'm in the office. I manage the office portion of it, but we build really beautiful custom homes out of steel structures. And then the third one, which happened, which was actually um, in 2008, when things, fell apart financially, I was looking for solutions. I had always guided and mentored people, but when I was looking for solutions for myself, when everything sort of pushed, um, I found hypnosis. And I thought, and it was such a powerful tool. I thought, I want other people to know this and understand it. And so I trained in it and became a master hypnotherapist. And I've been using that now. And Jay, I have to tell you, the journey that I've taken with us, even though we have happy clients we build homes for, even though my engineering clients love me, the most fulfilling work I've ever done is this work when I have somebody who comes in and they're being disempowered by PTSD or trauma from their youth. And in one session, the kind of work, because I do more than hypnosis now, I actually do another modality that I've, studied. And it's so, so powerful that people are healing physically, spiritually, emotionally. And it's just, it's magic to watch somebody go on now with their lives free of something that had originally held them back. And energy is we're all connected, so that the more that they heal, it helps all of us, right? It helps the entire earth. And so that's the one that I love the most, is just doing that.
Yes, and is that the Seven Sisters holistic healing?
Well, actually, what Seven Sisters came out of Uniquely Northern. Uniquely Northern is the hypnosis business, but
Okay.
then I created Seven Sisters, which is a nonprofit to channel all the funds from Uniquely Northern into that nonprofit to basically create opportunities for everybody. And I don't know if you've seen the website, but we also have a homeschool group in that website. We've created a collective of people in our community, and we have children from 6 to 13 to my son is 15 to 13 years old average. And we have a 1.5-year-old in there. And it's just beautiful, 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 because these mothers are such powerful, amazing, and fathers. There was a father there the other day, such powerful, amazing woman. And I'm really, really impressed with, 4 children, 3 children, 2 children, and very committed and devoted, and recognizing the power of that quality time with their children. But yeah, that's the most rewarding business. And I love the Seven Sisters as well, because Seven Sisters allows me to give back. We have kids in Jamaica that we're funding, putting them through boarding school. We have a local compost project. It's just, yeah, it's the giving back, which I'm really, really passionate.
Yes, and the healing that you're doing. That's so needed, especially with homeschooling. Just talked previously about how much work it is on yourself with going through the transition of homeschooling your kids. Because it brings a lot of things to light. Like, we hear people talk about their patience, hear people talk about just the confidence they have in themselves educationally or academically. Um, it's like a lack sometimes, and I feel like that is the PTSD talking, or the just any kind of trauma that they're holding on to from whatever childhood experiences that shape them in a manner of thinking less of themselves, basically. And
Mhm.
so the healing aspect is very important.
Yeah, one of the mothers who actually I've asked one of the other mothers, I've just become the primary caregiver for my 91-year-old father. So
Oh,
that adds a
wow.
whole other dynamic to it. So I actually asked one of the mothers to step up as the leader of the homeschool group, and the mother who stepped up has a lot of trauma. So I'm actually
Mm,
coaching her and releasing trauma from her so that she can stand in her power. Because the other thing that it causes, Jay, is it causes anxiety and stress on yourself, because you
yeah.
push yourself so hard, and then they start getting physically ill, right? Because all causation is mental. So she has all these physical challenges now, and she knows they're mental, but she didn't know how to release the mental. So now we're working together, and so I'm really excited to see where she's going to go with that release.
That is really awesome. What's the dynamics of that group? How does that look? Is it online based, or are y'all meeting in person?
No, the online tool is a huge gift, and I'm grateful for it. I do a lot of my sessions. I have people all over the country that I do sessions with. However, I'm a touchy-feely in-person type thing. So no, all of our work is like, the group is coming to my house on Wednesday. So no, we meet in locally, it's a local group, and we meet in person with the kids.
Okay. Is this open? Like, is it open membership, or how does that work? Where are you located?
Cave Creek, Arizona.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were in Arizona. For some reason, I thought you were in Louisiana. I
Mm,
did.
Jonathan was born in Louisiana, but
Okay.
no, yeah, when you were going to come to Glendale, I think for the conference, that's when I was going to speak at your conference.
Yes.
And I think, did you have it? You had it after all,
Well,
right?
yeah, we had it in Phoenix in August, the end of August.
Okay.
This year, this one will be in Phoenix also, at
Mm,
the beginning of August. I think August 4th, if I'm not mistaken, or 3rd.
okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
I'll join you for that one, but at the end of August, that's when my father was first arriving, so that's probably why I wasn't able to
gotcha.
attend that one. But
Yes.
yeah, we're in Cave Creek. We have Rio Verde, North Scottsdale, Desert Haven, New River, and Rio Verde are where our parents are.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Okay. So
And
you
yeah,
all meet.
it's
Okay.
open. Like, if somebody wants to join, they're more than welcome. All they have to do is contact me through my telephone number, the website, the Seven Sisters website, however they want to.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll have all that provided in the description and everything for people to be able to click and process and access. So
Mhm.
yes. So how did you get in the healing field? How did you get to where you are with the hypnotherapy, the Seven Sisters? How did you get there?
Well, I think that's two questions, I think, because the Seven Sisters is, my father has always been the kind of man to give back, to give back, to
Mhm.
give back. And so I was raised with that. We're from Jamaica. And I don't know, that was just in my vocabulary, where I've always donated, I've always supported, especially people who are making a dramatic difference. A good portion of my revenue has always gone towards that. As far as the healing, my mother had a master's in social work. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I was just naturally, as I went through my life, people would gravitate to me and say, they'd tell me their stories. I don't know why. They just, you'd meet somebody at a party and they'd tell you their story. And so I was always naturally
And then
coachable.
they
Plus,
always say, I don't know why I'm telling you all this.
exactly. And then even when I ran my business, my staff would be, I'd be supporting them, but even other business owners would come to me and say, what is it that I just want to sit down with you and have lunch. And they'd ask me questions. I don't know what prompted that, but I would help coach them and guide them on, suggestions. And I think it's also because I was doing my own work, right? I was always learning. I wanted to be the best version of myself. And so I was always learning and doing personal development and going to, courses and whatever to go, what's my pure potential? What's my true essence? And so I was doing that work for myself. And like I said, when in 2008, when things got challenging, for the first time, I needed somebody to turn to. And that's when I was telling you that I found the hypnosis. And I was like, yeah, this is something. So I'd always been doing it, but I've never formally done it before. It was only when I trained in hypnosis that I started formally doing it for for other people. I practiced on my friends and I was seeing huge transformations in their lives. And so that's when I decided to take it to a broader audience. So now I actually do speaking engagements too, to larger audiences, because I want to share this with as many people as possible. Because I just did a class on realizing your dreams. And it's so simple, but we're not taught to do it. And I live it in every moment of every day. When I look, my hair stands on end at the kind of things that I create because I live my dreams. I think about something that I want and it happens. I think about something that I want and it happens. And so when you do that enough times, you can't discount it, right? So now I walk people through what that process was that I did so that they can realize their dreams. The class is called What One Dream Would You Dare to Dream If You Knew You Could Not Fail? And I teach people how to, realize that one dream, but also realize in every aspect of their life what their dreams are. And it's possible. It's real. I've proven it over and over and over again.
Yeah. Do you find, like, as far as the dream goes, because it's like we're taught young to dream, like, it's like kind of put in us, oh, dream, be creative, use your imagination. And then I don't know when it's like, no, stop dreaming. Stop dreaming, do this. You need to do this to be successful. And da 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 da. It's like the dreams kind of get pushed to the wayside, like, oh, no, no, don't get caught up in la la land. Like, how do you get people back to their dreams, or even like to dream again?
That's a good question. Here's the biggest thing with my clients. If I'm working with a client, the first thing I ask them, they have to actually interview to work with me. Because I say, are you committed to letting go, to trusting, to surrendering, and to realizing your dreams? Because if you're still asking, I'll have a client call me up. If they say, well, what if it doesn't work? I go, well, I tell you what, that's not a problem. When you're ready to trust that it will work, call me back, right? Because they're the ones who do the work. I just facilitate the process. They have to let go and trust. Then I can access their subconscious mind and then the miracles happen, right?
Yeah.
But if they're going in there using their analytical mind going, what if, what if, and trying to control the process, then the universe is going to say, okay, well, you control the process, you're going to get exactly this. Whereby if you let go and you trust and you say, this is what I want, the universe goes, oh, good, I get to have some fun, and throws all sorts of stuff at you. And the way that it happens, Jay, you could never have anticipated. And it brings tears to your eyes because you've allowed the universe to do its magic. The universe is conspiring for our success in every moment of every day, and we get in our own ways.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and you know it through what you're creating with this homeschool group. You know that magic happens, right?
Oh, indeed, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And it does start with a dream. It really does. And then
Right.
letting go.
Right.
Like letting go, like, hey, like this is real big. But
Uh-huh.
hey, I'm gonna trust it and I'm gonna just go. One of my favorite, and I have it tatted on me. Trust the process. Like that's one of my favorite sayings. Trust the process. Like, oh, it's not looking right. It may not look how you thinking it should look. Just
Right.
trust it. Trust it. Keep going.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
The one that I say is let go and let God. So in other words, feel the feeling of what it feels like to have achieved your goals. I usually write it on a piece of paper, excuse me. I usually write it on a piece of paper, stick it under my mouse pad or something, and then just go on with my life, just feeling that feeling of what it feels like to realize that dream. And then all of a sudden, I never put dates on them, and I wish I would, because then all of a sudden I'll find the note and it's already being realized. But I don't
Mm.
remember when I put the note underneath there, you know?
Yeah,
And
you gotta
most,
start putting some dates up there.
yeah, exactly. So I can actually document how long it took to
Mhm.
realize those things. But yeah, it's especially, honestly, especially when it gets challenging, with those challenging things in your life that come up, that's when you really need to let go and trust and just go, you know, because you're trying to figure it out on your own
Mhm.
and it's not coming through. And that's when I go, okay, I'm going to put it on a piece of paper. Here's my desired outcome, and then move on with my life. And that's when it happens. Let go and let God.
Yes, yes. But it's a difficult process, even when talking to parents about homeschooling, like to go against something that you've been doing for however long you've been doing it, decades, and
Mhm.
being programmed and systematically like structured to think and operate in a certain manner. It's a lot to go against. Like, it's a lot to break that.
Absolutely. I get it. And especially being as old as I am, you're probably half my age. I was very ingrained in the educational system. I was blessed to have had a very powerful, probably one of the top best schools in Canada in a private school. And even though I
Mm,
fought my mother tooth and nail the entire time, there's not a day that goes by that I'm not grateful for that education. But at the same time, I also had one, it was a private school, so maybe it was a little bit different than the public school system, but I also had that Jamaican independence in me. And so I was still always the critical thinker, right? But absolutely, especially if you're a parent that's trying, that's struggling financially and you're working in a job, to have your children at home, that's going to be a challenge for them. They may want it, but that's going to be a challenge. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to take thinking outside the box. But you're right, it is a leap because of how that educational system is so ingrained in our society, to go, what does that look like, right? I totally understand. And I've coached multiple people who have children in the educational system, and mostly it's kind of fascinating. One of the parents is like, my child, they wanted me to treat their child because their child didn't want to go to school because he was afraid, and I'm like, do I have to?
right. Like, should we not listen? Should we not
do we
listen?
do we have to? And it was the hardest thing for me because I told I asked him to continue to trust his best judgment, but I was able to get him to relax and go to school, but I didn't feel good about it, right?
Mm.
But that's what his mother wanted for him. But she's a stay-at-home mom. In my world, I'm like, just keep him home with you, you know?
I
But
say
that
maybe you should have been treating her into like, hey, why don't you see this as possibility for your life? Like, why don't you feel like this would be okay for y'all, for him not to go?
uh, you can, here's the thing is, um, I could tell that there was resistance there, right? So you can't push. You want to support them in being
Mhm.
successful, whatever they need to do. But it was one of my more difficult things to do, because I knew it was the same school that my son had been going to. And it's not to say that it was a bad school, but considering how everything shifted, you know, um, that was the other reason I wanted to pull him out, because a lot of the things that they're programming the children to in the school system, are designed, it's not good. There's a malicious intent there in my mind. So I don't, it was one of my more difficult situations, because the child knew that there was something. He knew there was something wrong, and he
Exactly.
was
And
right.
then speaking from your perspective of having your child go, like you said, it was the same school he was going to go to, the same school your child came from and have
Mhm.
went through and was like, yeah, that's not for me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, mom, let's do the homeschool thing because
Yeah,
I like this isn't right. And
right.
so knowing that and then having to tell this other or treat this other young man into saying, oh no,
Mhm.
oh you need
Yeah.
to go there. You need to
Well,
go
yeah, and he
there.
was he was moving from another school where he had been traumatized, and they didn't share with me
Oh
the
man.
Yeah, they didn't share with me the details of what had happened, but whatever it wasn't good. So
Yeah.
really in a situation like that, excuse me, that little boy needed to be with his mother and be at home. But I think he was a challenged child. I think he probably had some autistic things going on. And so I think she just didn't feel like she had another younger child. I just feel like she felt it was too much for her to take that on. And I
Understand.
understand that. And I understand
Yeah,
that.
of course. Knowing your limits is really important. Like you said,
Right.
this may be an idea for a lot of people, but
Mm,
then when actually thinking about the sustainability of it
mm,
all, it may
mhm.
not work out for them.
That's
So
right. That's
it is important to know your limits.
that's right.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Oh, but oh, you're doing a lot. Like you got a nice wide spectrum there of what it is that you got your hands in. And so it also offers your son the opportunity to see a lot of different job fields that he can go into. Like you said, he's 15 and you said he's already working.
Yes. He says he actually wants to pursue either being in the Marines or being in law enforcement. He wants to be a sheriff.
Oh, wow.
He wants to be
Okay.
a sheriff because he's a great protector, right? He's a leader. And so he wants to be able to protect. And when we say law enforcement, it actually is a peace officer. He wants to be a peace officer because that's originally what law enforcement was about. And it wasn't enforcing statutory laws, it was about maintaining the peace.
Maintaining the peace. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That would be
That's
nice if we can circle back to that. Like,
yes.
it would be a lot nicer. So that's cool that he has a field that he's going into. This like dual enrollment or anything, college is well, you said Marines or peace officer. Is that something that y'all have considered?
Yes, he will. He wants those options. So we're heading in that direction where he has the option if he wants to go to college. But like I tell him, by the time you get into college, which is what, 3, 4 years down the road, I said, college is going to be different. Because right
Mm,
now, the university system, as far as I'm concerned, because I did pursue a master's degree, is selling degrees. And so they're not actually teaching people anything. It's just a private business. It's just another corporation to monetize. And so I said, by the grace of God, by the time you get into that level of education, you'll either know everything you need to know to do what you want to do, or the educational system, the university system will be so substantially different that it'll be something that's going to be that worthwhile you going into and will give you some content. So that's what I'm praying for, and that's what I'm anticipating, because that's another thing that I do is very important in my business is we create our own realities.
mhm.
So you want to create a reality that works for you.
Yeah. Not what
So
was told is supposed to work for you.
exactly, exactly. So it's very important to make sure you're focusing on what you want, and then you'll get what you want. When you're focusing on what doesn't work, then you're going to
You
get what
get
doesn't
more of
work.
that. Yeah.
Right. That's right.
So manifestation is a lot in what you teach, the
Right.
art of manifestation.
Yeah. Even though I don't call it manifestation, because there's a lot of some work around manifestation that to me, it's not working because there's not a spiritual base for it. Mine is based
Mm,
on spirituality and really our energies. And it's powerful and it's beautiful and it's good. It's not about things. It's not about things. My life is about, I call it the trustee beneficiary relationship. So all trusts is God's law, right? Trust law is God's law. And so in a trust, you have a trustee and a beneficiary, and the trustee's responsibility is to make sure that the beneficiary, you maximize the assets for the benefit of the beneficiary. So every
mm,
relationship in my world is a trustee beneficiary relationship. So right now, I'm the trustee and you're the beneficiary, and I'm making sure you get the maximum out of our interaction. And then if you're doing the same thing, then I'm getting the benefits. And what I explain to my clients, I say, you would not treat your best friend like some people are very hard on themselves. I said, would you treat your best friend like you treat yourself? No, they
mm.
would never treat their best friend that harshly. So that's why the trustee beneficiary relationship works, because if you're taking care of the other person better than you take care of yourself, and they're doing the same for you, then everyone operates at a higher level.
Yeah.
So manifesting to me is about getting material things. And that's why I don't
Mm.
use that word. I didn't realize I didn't use that word, but I just don't. Mine is about living the life of your dreams, because then we honor God, because God wants us to be happy. He wants us to be living life powerfully. And he wants us to be creating for ourselves and others. And so that's
Yeah.
where I come from in my work with my clients. You know, everything, anything is possible, everything is possible. And when you live your life from a place of love and pure potential, then you get to tap into the collective consciousness, the universe, to God, and there are no limits. And it's a
No
beautiful
limit.
place to live. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love how you just put it on that. Yes, yes, that's what it's all about. Like you said, we're meant to be happy. We are. It's like what is your happy? And so we don't often ask people that. Like, we see somebody or run into a friend that we haven't seen in a while, and the first thing how are you doing? Like, what you been up to? Like things like that. And never do we really ask, well, are you happy? Like, hey, are you happy? Like, that's what I want to start with. Are you happy? Like,
Yeah,
you feel good? Like, is joy
that's right.
flowing through you? How can we
Yeah,
get there? If that's not where you're at, like, how can we get there? What is it? And that's where you say the reality, creating your reality.
that's right. Some people, when people ask me how I'm doing, I said I'm living the dream, and they go, "Oh, they think that's some people do think it's pretentious because it's not in their lives, it's not realistic." And if I
Mm.
ask somebody how they're doing, they say, "Okay." I go, "That's not good enough." You know, that doesn't work for me. It's like you you should be living, you should be living life on your terms and having fun with it. But
Yes.
like I said, I haven't said it, but basically we've been taught to live this default life. You get up, you do the same routine. You get up, you do the same thing. The next day looks the same. So that your whole life, today looks like yesterday, and tomorrow looks like today, and the rest of your life looks like the same old stuff, and you haven't changed anything. If you want to change things up, you want to be constantly creating, because that expands the entire universe, right? And then
Mm.
everyone benefits. There's a beautiful poem that I love, by Marianne Williamson. And our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It's our light,
Mm.
not our darkness, that frightens us most. And we all have this beautiful light and this sparking with us. It's everyone. It's in every one of us, right? But that whole educational system makes sure that they snuff out that spark. And so when we do feel like, as adults, we're like, we have these twinges, or we have these visions, or these moments of like, what's possible, and we get excited, but then we share it with a friend. And I'm like, when I do this dream class, I go, don't share it with anyone you don't absolutely trust, because it's like crabs in a bucket. They're like, oh, come on, be realistic. And when I have them dream, I say, don't be realistic. I do not want you to be realistic. If your imagination is your view of life's coming attractions, right? So if you can see it, then it's possible for you. And as a matter of fact, in my world, it's already happened. You just have to start vibrating at that energy level, or feeling that feeling, so that you bring it to you. It's already there, right?
Yes.
Already there. You just have to bring it to you.
Yes. You can't
Yeah.
trust your dream with everyone. You really can't. Everyone's not meant to see the vision. And sometimes they are very good at clouding the vision once you share it with them.
Well,
So,
that's what I tell them. It's hypnosis. They're going to say something that's going to be negative, and that's hypnosis, and that's going to be planted in your
mm,
subconscious mind, and it's going to wear away at you. So you don't want any message that is inconsistent in your subconscious mind, inconsistent with the direction that you're going. So be careful who you share your dreams with.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I love that. Tell them, Michelle. Tell them.
Oh my gosh, we
Everybody's
have.
not for your greater good. Like this is a harsh reality, and it could be ones that's the closest to you. You
Mhm,
start with the parental units. You could go there with
mhm.
them. Like everyone is not for your greater good. It's going back to the little training that we've gone through of what people find as success or what they measure as success. And even when you're talking about the dream, making your dream, or I'm living a dream, a lot of people are so caught up in the American dream. And
Right.
that's already like, it's like, oh, okay, we don't want you dreaming free. Your dreams can't be freelance. Okay. No,
Right.
you need to be dreaming about this American dream. So everyone's be on the same page and be striving for that big house, picket fence, dog, 2.5 kids, all that good stuff. I don't know what the American dream is now because
Mhm.
it's 2024. So I would hope that it has evolved. But either
Mm-hmm.
way, it's still like a structure of what success looks like. And it
Right.
takes a lot for people to get out of that mindset of, okay, well, no, you're not successful if you don't have this, 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 and this. Or you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be talking about you living a dream if you don't have this, 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 or this.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. Our dreams are unique to us. And that's not, like you say, there's a generic dream that people have, and that's the manifesting, that's the material. And yet it's so much more powerful than that. When you do it from a spiritual basis, then there are no limits to what you can realize. And again, your what you want in your life is not going to be the same as your next door neighbor or the same as the person down the street. And that's okay. That's okay. And that's what you have to get comfortable with. Like you say, it's thinking outside the box, just like taking your children out of the educational system is thinking outside the box. Now, my dream is not to have that. My dream is to just live in the middle of nowhere, which is my dream, in the middle of nowhere, off grid, in a little cabin, and have a dog, that's it. And be able to hike 3 times a day, 3 times a week, that's my dream. And I'd like heaven on earth for me. Right?
Yes. And that's not someone else's dream. And that's
Mhm.
okay. Because we are all supposed to have that uniquely built dream for us and what makes us smile and what is our happy place, what's our calm. Like that looks different for everyone. And I just feel like people would be so much better off if they were just respected that. Like just respect that everyone's dream or what they would like to bring into the reality is different than what you may feel or think or believe or see or want. And us being okay with that.
One of my clients came in for sports performance. She's a tennis player. This was in 2020 or 2021, I believe. And she was like, after I treated her, she's like, I just feel so badly. I said, what do you feel badly about? She said, I feel so badly that with everything going on in the world, that I'm worried about my tennis game. And I said, sweetie, I said, that's your joy. I said, when you live your passion and you live your joy, it's a gift to everyone around you.
Yeah.
So that was in 2021. She came to my workshop about dream creation this Saturday. And so I asked her if I could share that with everybody. I said, your joy doesn't have to look the same as the next person. Your bliss does not have to look the same as the next person's bliss. I said, for example, here's what she said, I was worried about my tennis game. I was like, when you play it's contagious. Everyone who you're playing with on that field, you're making a difference in their lives when you're playing powerfully and enjoying yourself and loving your life, right? That's what it's all about. Find your bliss. I don't know who said that. Was that Joseph Campbell? Find your bliss.
Mm.
And when you do that, everything else falls into place.
Yeah, I feel like the news has a lot to play into that. People are always force fed all this information on what's going on all around the world, all the things you're supposed to be upset about. Like, no, how dare you be happy right now? Do you know what's going on over in, so and so, or where this is taking place? Or like I've seen billboards selling like, oh no, this should be your problem. This is your problem too. Like, yo, why?
Well,
Why do I have to embody that? Yeah.
okay, so that would be my first piece of advice. Don't watch the news. Like, don't. And
Yes.
yeah, do not watch the news because the news is all propaganda anyhow to keep you disempowered and to keep you, like you said, exactly that. Focus on something outside yourself. That's another thing that's extremely important, Jay, that I stress to my clients. Our society has trained us, or it's trying to program us to look outside ourselves for the solutions. All the answers are in here. All the answers are in here. Only you know what's best for you. And when you look inside, help somebody facilitate, because even I do my own healing with other healers to make sure that I'm operating at my peak. So if there's something that's disempowering you, you release it and get more and more closer to who you truly are, your true essence, and then you operate from that place. So you have to be aware. Like you really have to be aware because we're all disempowered by something because we're living life and we're on this earth. If we weren't, then we wouldn't be here. We'd be angels flying around with wings. So I have, I have stuff, but here's the thing is every challenge is an opportunity for growth. So when something comes into my life that disempowers me, I go, yes, you know, I'm like excited. Everything happens for me, not to me. So when a challenge comes up, like my father arriving on my front doorstep, you know, with 2 weeks notice, drinking a bottle of rum every 3 days, believe me, I had to step up. I had to step up and go, okay, so who am I that I'm going to go, whoosh, you know, what's this going to look like? Now, I think within 2 months, but now it's been 4 months, he's at peace. Our life is beautiful and whole, and everything is just, it glows and it's beautiful, but it took a lot of work. I had to be a different person to be able to communicate with my dad, manage that you can have 2 drinks a day, but that's it. Because my life is not going to be a she show. You know, my life is beautiful and peaceful and healthy. And so he's healthy, he's walking, and he was with a, you know, one of those things that you walk around with. Now he can walk on his own.
Oh,
He
wow.
couldn't have done that before, right? He looks good. He's got color in his skin. He's happy. He's at peace. He's quiet. He's settled. He was a hot mess when he arrived. He
But
was,
that's why he needed to come.
well, you know, that's the thing is, when you heal yourself, you heal your parents. When you heal yourself, you heal your children. When you heal yourself, you heal your ancestors. When you heal yourself, you heal your family. So every step along the way of the last 4 months, I've even reminded myself, I heal myself and he'll heal. I heal myself and my son will, everything will fall into place. But I had to do the work first, right?
Yes.
I
Yes.
had to do the work first. And he still, of course, he's still every day, every 2 weeks, he sits me down and gives me a argument for why he should have his bottle of rum sitting by his desk. And I listen to him. And I listen to him and I say, Dad, I love you. If that bottle of rum were sitting by your desk, you wouldn't be happy. You wouldn't be healthy. You'd be in and out of the hospital like you were before. You wouldn't be able to be walking. You know, you'd be falling because he was falling all the time. He doesn't fall anymore, right? And then he remembers, and then we go for another couple of weeks, and then then we have the conversation again. I'm a grown man. I'm 91. God damn it. I don't, I, I can handle myself. Yeah, well, obviously you couldn't, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Oh, I love it. You know, I
yeah,
had the pleasure of listening to you present, and I don't remember where, but it was just so like breathtaking. It was just so amazing how I just love like you paused a lot for people to be able to take in the information that you had just given out because you knew how heavy it was. And I just love that. It was like, yeah, no, sit with that. And like, you know, like before I move on, like,
uh-huh.
no, I just gave you a lot. But I feel like you've given a lot for people to take in and digest and to, you know, come out with understanding that I do create my own reality. This is
Absolutely.
about what works for me and my family. This is
Right.
about me taking accountability or self-responsibility for me and letting my light shine out from that. And I love that. And I appreciate you for that um, all the way. So before I let you go, oh, go ahead.
One more thing I want to say on that, and that's very important too. When you're being a homeschool parent, everyone has an opinion.
Mm,
Don't worry about their opinions.
mm-mm.
You do what's best for you. Honor them, say thank you so much because you know they're saying it from a caring position, but it's also from their perspective. You have your
Yeah.
own perspective, but do not ever let that disempower you. You are responsible for you and your children. You're a leader in their lives. Be a leader in their lives. If nothing else, be a leader in their lives and teach them how to stand as powerful human beings going forward because they're the leaders of the next generation.
Yes. And see, that's why I was gonna you beat me to it, but you're gonna give me three more anyways. I want I always end every episode with you know, three things that you would like families to take away from this. Three things that you would like them to go forward with in understanding their home learning journey and how it can look for them or what, you know,
Mhm.
whatever it is that's on your heart to share. But I
Okay, well,
need
so
three of
that
them.
okay. All right. So the first one is again, whatever works for you works for you. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no program. There could be programs online that you could follow, but you don't have to. You can develop your own curriculum. We're going into a new world. It's a new era. Just because your child doesn't follow that grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 curriculum doesn't mean they're not a success, right? We're going into a new world. So you don't have to follow that curriculum. Do what's right for your child. And every child is unique. Every child is unique. So teach to your child's skills and talents and let them be who they're going to be. That's one. Secondly, take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. There's no right or wrong. Just enjoy the journey. Savor every moment of spending that quality time with your children. Be the leader in their lives. And then that third one, don't let anyone tell you how you should or should not do it. If somebody has an opinion, don't get defensive. Don't worry about it. Just say, thank you for loving me enough to share your perspective with me. And I'm good. I'm good. Don't resist it, because what you resist persists. So just don't resist it. Just trust that in your heart, you're doing the right thing for your children, and keep moving forward.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Of
Where
course.
can we find Seven Sisters Healing,
Yeah.
Holistic Healing?
The website is sevensistersinstitute.com.
Okay.
My telephone number is 480-652-6698. And then my email is Michele with one L at sevensistersinstitute.com. But you can just look up sevensistersinstitute.com. You'll find the website, and that has all my contact information.
Nice, nice. And we'll have all that available in the description as well. Is
Okay.
there anything else you would like to share?
No, I just like to thank you, because I really admire what you're doing. I was really thrilled. I don't even know how you got in contact with me, but I was really, really, really thrilled and honored to be part of your curriculum and your vision. You have a beautiful vision, a powerful vision, and an important one. So thank you for doing the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share that with me. I receive it all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Definitely. But yes, I love these. These are so energizing. Every time I converse with someone who is walking their path, their choosing of what their world is going to look like. And I love it. Because y'all are also sharing the endless possibilities that are available for others, and letting people know that there's choices in all that we do. Because there is, like, we have choices in every single thing. But even if they try to make it sound like a mandate, it's really not. You still have a choice.
Right,
You still have a
exactly.
choice. They just
Exactly.
use big fancy words like that. But yeah, no, choices is everything. And we want to get to that happy place for all, and everyone deserves it. So I'm grateful to be able to step into this position that I've been in, and just share and let people know support is there, resources are there, everything you need is there. Even if it is you stepping outside of yourself, it's still coming from within, because you're telling yourself, hey, I need help with this. Oh, hey, I need some support. I need some community. Listen, just listen to yourself and seek it. Healing is everything. And the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you reach your higher self. And that's what it's all about. So I love this. Make sure y'all homeschool your kids.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, my love.
Thank you.
Okay.